Hello, and thank you for tuning in to today's webinar with JumpCrew, Discovering 2018 Marketing Trends. I am so excited that you have taken time out of your busy schedule to hear and grasp this information that is going to be shared. I want you to grab pen and paper because this is going to be life-changing for your business. Let's get started. I am your webinar host, Martrell Harris. I am a social media manager here at JumpCrew. My quote is, social media is the new business card and first impressions are important, and that they are. And we're going to be talking today exactly how that applies to your business and with social media. Please email me if you have any questions at martrell@jumpcrew.com. I'd be more than happy to hear from you, answer your questions, and provide further insight as to what we'll be discussing today. Customer engagement through social media is a crucial component of any successful marketing strategy. That it is. And social media marketing changes quickly, so it is important to stay up to date on trends in the industry. Absolutely, even here at JumpCrew, and we do social media day in and day out, things change so fast. A lot of times as business owners and as people that make the decisions in your marketing department, it is very hard to keep up with the trends, what's working, what's not working, and even sometimes what's changing on the platform itself. So that's what we're here to do, and I'm going to provide you with some great tools that are going to help you navigate your way through this as you begin to develop your marketing strategy for this year. So let's go to the next slide. We do have an agenda. We have 5 things we're going to cover today. Number 1, best content for engagement. Number 2, video. There's a reason why that's there 3 times, because it's very important. Number 3, working with partners. Number 4, impact on SEO. And number 5, new technology. Now, I want you to stick around for number 5 because I'm going to be introducing to some that we have a lot of new technology that's coming out in the social media world, and you want to know exactly how that applies for your business. So stick around to the very end because it's going to be great information that you're going to want to take with you, study a little more on, and figure out how you can utilize it for your social media marketing strategy. So let's get started. What content should I use? It's a popular question that I hear often from my clients and from just general people around. What content should I be posting? What should I do with my social media? What's engaging? What's not? What works? What doesn't? Well, if you've been abreast to the latest thing that happened in social media a few months ago, use of stories. Yes, so many people are taking advantage of viewing just stories. Why is that? Stories are increasing in popularity because people will just check the stories instead of your actual post. It's a quick way for people to go through, get a snapshot of everything that you're doing. They get a snapshot of your day. They get a snapshot of what you're trying to sell or advertise or market. And it's a quick way for them to navigate through that. So it's quick, it's easy. And then of course you can add your promotions in there as well. You could actually, if you have over 10,000 followers, even include links. So it's incredibly useful for your marketing strategy, especially if you're at the 10,000 followers mark, to be able to add those specific links that go back to your business, that go back to your website, that go back to your product. Whereas, of course, if you don't have the 10,000 followers just yet, stay tight, you're going to get there. But even without those links, you can still advertise your new products, and you can also add some fun things in there as well. User-generated content. This is great as well. Why? Because you can encourage your audience to build your brand. So you're not only marketing to your audience, you're marketing through them. So you could ask your followers to submit images using your product or maybe even talking about your service. And you can utilize that on your social media as well. Be sure to give photo credit. Make sure you tag your users, tag your audience. Why is that? Because it encourages other people to start submitting as well. So build your brand not just to your audience, but through them. As you see the example here with BarkBox, they have done exactly that. One of their users took a picture of their dog in a box under the Christmas tree, and that just looks great. That's just a great photo. But definitely this is exactly what I'm telling you to do. Use your audience to market and promote your brand. They are the mouthpiece of your business, and you want to make sure that you give them the platform to speak loud and clear. Be personable. I always tell people, it's good to be professional, but social media is more laid back marketing. You are targeting actual people directly, so you want to make sure that you create a human side to your brand. Remind the followers that there are people that are actually behind your brand. How can you do that? Look at the picture over here. We can see that this is a team photo. Something really simple. If you have a smartphone, a camera phone, you can easily snap a picture like that and utilize it. And that brings some personality to your brand. It brings out the character of your business. You can also be personable by responding quickly to questions and comments, good and bad. I always tell people bad reviews are your prime opportunity to turn things around for your clients, for your customers, for your business. The greatest way to respond to those is in a positive light. So that's your opportunity to turn a bad situation into a good one by responding quickly and positively. Of course, you can also ask questions about things that are important to your audience. On one of our webinars a few months ago, I talked about how by asking questions that are important to your audience, it allows you to get to know the very DNA of your audience. When you know what your audience likes outside of you, you then learn a different side of them, and then you figure out how you can play a part in their everyday lives, how your product can fit in their everyday lives. Let's say you have a product that is generally towards mothers. If you have that and you know that mothers are soccer moms, they're hockey moms, they're basketball moms. When you utilize those things, you can then figure out, where should I actually be advertising? What should we be involved in? What community activities should we associate ourselves with? Because that gets your product back in front of those moms if your product is targeted towards moms. Right? So asking questions about things that are important to your audience also allow you to get information that they probably would otherwise share. Now, video. Why are we talking about video? By 2020, video will make up 80% of all online consumer internet traffic, and it will eventually be the closest that you can get to a face-to-face conversation with your audience. Isn't that pretty staggering? 80%. That is a lot of people. And that's only in a couple of years. So we're not that far away from this mark. So you want to make sure that you are implementing video in your social media strategy, because it's really going to impact the way your social media performs. We want to focus on mobile. We have actually studied and we have found out that most users are utilizing their social media via mobile devices. So make sure you're creating square mobile-friendly videos that they can view on a smartphone or an iPad or a tablet. Of course, you always want to include great captions and keep it short. Simple is more. Less is more. You want to make sure that you're not giving them a full-blown story about what's in the video and part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. You want to keep it short and sweet because, as again, people are viewing via their mobile device. Mobile means that they're typically viewing your video in between a client. They're viewing your video while sitting in traffic. They're viewing your video while they're at soccer practice. They're viewing your video while they're doing something else. So they're multitasking. So you don't want to extend the period of time that it takes to view your video. You want to keep your videos pretty short and sweet, and you also want to keep your captions that way as well. But make sure that in that short video that you're telling a story. Create value. Don't focus on the brand or sales always. We always go back to the 80-20 rule. Those of you that have viewed the webinars before this one, you understand this rule because we've talked about it, right? Not using your social media platform to only sell, but utilizing it to inform, to empower, to motivate. Those are great other aspects of your brand that you can utilize to engage your audience. No one wants to be sold to all the time, right? So we have found that the 80-20 rule works. What is the 80-20 rule, guys? That is 80% content that is for your audience, 20% content that focuses on your actual brand. That is the working strategy. You want to connect with your viewer. You want to be cohesive and concise. You also want to talk about your employees, having an employee of the week or employee of the month. I'm going to add one to this list. Talk about your other customers. This is another way to get your audience involved in what you're doing and to, again, market through your audience, not just to your audience. And of course, show your product in use. Those are always great things as well. You have 3 seconds. Now, we've been on this slide for more than 3 seconds, so that means we don't have long. Attention spans online are very short. So you want to get to the point quickly to instantly gain interest. You want to be clear on what your video has to offer, and you want to create a hook. Let's look at this stat right here. 65% of users who watch the first 3 seconds of a Facebook video will watch for at least 10 seconds, and 45% will watch for 30 seconds. So you don't want to make your videos any longer than, I would say, 45 seconds to 1 minute. Anything over that, you're probably just wasting your time and marketing dollars if you're paying for a videographer and actors or things like that. So you want to keep it less than a minute. Something that, again, is impactful. It grabs their attention within the first 3 seconds. Usually you get their attention by asking a question that's kind of like, whoa, did they just ask that? You want to make sure that you're grabbing the attention of the viewer within the first 3 seconds of the video, because if it's not interesting after that, they're going to scroll right past. So make sure that when you're putting your videos together, if you have a videographer, if you have someone that is building your storyboard for your videos, make sure that those first 3 seconds are the most impactful. And of course, you want to make sure you're getting to the point fairly quickly. And then going live. If you are on Facebook at all, we all know that person that goes live often, but you know what? They're actually doing it exactly the way it was intended to be done. Going live gets your content out there. It gets your followers excited about that content, and it gets them engaged. Of course, you can do product demonstrations. You can show real people using your product. Now, this third one here is something that I really, really love, and I think it's really important, especially if you are in a product type business. Showing behind the scenes, what happens before the curtain comes up. That is what people want to know. My example always is people pay additional money to go backstage at a concert. Why is that? Because people are interested in what happens before the lights come on. So you want to make sure that you are giving that behind the scenes look, not giving away your secret sauce, but definitely giving them a peek behind the scenes at something they wouldn't normally see. They would always tune in to see that. Make sure you're giving them just a little bit, even if it's just a teaser. It'll keep them coming back. Practice before going live and be prepared for mishaps. We are dealing with technology, so you want to make sure that you kind of do a dry run through your script of what you're going to be talking about. If you are doing a product demonstration, making sure you have all the necessary tools, making sure that you have went through the demonstration fully to make sure everything works exactly the way it's supposed to. And of course, always be prepared for the inevitable. There may be things that happen that are out of your control, but certainly you can prepare for those by having extra supplies on hand, by having another hand that is off camera that is helping you, by making sure that you have good lighting, making sure that you have good audio, making sure that there's not a lot of background noise. Those are things that you want to practice and go back and listen to before you actually go live to your audience. Let's talk about good partnerships. We are always better together. Brand partnerships. We can find companies that complement yours. That's really good. You can agree on a schedule to cross promote. Cross promotion is great because what it does is it allows you to get in front of an audience that you would normally not be in front of unless you were partnered with a brand that complements yours. And then same thing goes for them. They wouldn't have your audience unless they cross promote it with you. So it's a win-win for both parties. What would be a business that would complement? Well, if you're an ice cream company and I am a cone company, then of course we can cross promote. I can promote your ice cream, you promote my cones, and there we have something that complements each other. So make sure that it's something that has your values, has your morals, has your business standards, but something where you can get your product in front of an audience that you normally would not have access to. So brand partners bring a new perspective. You can also, when you start collaborating with other minds, you can start coming up with new ideas, more innovative ideas, more exciting ways to promote your product when you just start having a very basic conversation. You want to be committed and know that it takes time to build. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen. You just have to be committed for the long haul. Guest blog on each other's sites, a fantastic idea, and align with community groups that have a similar audience. Now, influencers is a great way of marketing. It's influencer marketing, and influencers help build a following. It gives you exposure to their following. Look for an engaged audience when you're looking at who could I use as an influencer for my business. What is an influencer? It's someone that has a large following. Now, a huge example of an influencer would be someone like Oprah Winfrey. Why would I use her as an example? Well, when she says, I use this particular product, typically that company, their sales spike through the roof because she said it. She's an example of a great influencer. Now, you may not have access to someone like Oprah Winfrey, but you may have access to other influencers that don't have have quite as large of an audience, but still a very large following that they could advertise your product for you. Sometimes this is paid, sometimes not. If you have the proper networking, connections, if you're able to get in there, and if you have a friend that's an influencer, those are things that work as well. Otherwise, it may cost you some money, but it will make you money because they're getting your product in front of a huge audience. You want to look for an engaged audience on your influencers' Instagram pages, their Facebook pages. You want to make sure that they don't just have a large following, but that they have large engagement. And of course, interact with local news reporters. Those are people as well that are great influencers. Now, if you're having trouble finding influencers, know that JumpCrew, we do have an influencer marketing package that you would love. We take the hassle out of finding those people and how you get in contact with them and what you do and what the next steps are, because it can be a challenge. Now, for some of you, you've got it. You've got this. You're ready to roll. For others, you're maybe thinking, I don't really know how to do that. How do I really access these influencers? How do I contact them? Contact us and we'll take the heavy load off of it for you. More about that a little later. Let's talk about micro influencers. These are people that have a strong connection with their audience. Word of mouth. They're already fans of your brand. Of course, you can offer them free products. A lot of time, if they're micro influencers, they may be people in your community that just have a major voice. They have a large platform. They've been in your business. They love the product that you offer. If we're using ice cream as the example still, they love coming into your ice cream parlor to get ice cream on Saturdays. They come every week. They know their favorite flavor. These are people that you want to give maybe free products to in exchange for them advertising your product. So maybe, hey, get a free ice cream cone if you come in, if you give me a couple of Instagram posts this week and tell your followers to come in and see me. You would be surprised what people would do for a free ice cream cone. Let's go to the next slide. Social media's impact on SEO. Now, last month, we talked about SEO in depth. So if you have additional questions after we go over this segment, I want you to go watch the webinar I did in December on SEO. It was fantastic, and there's a lot of great information there that you should definitely check out. Social media will continue to impact SEO in 2018. So content shared socially may pick up links or gain engagement, both of which are direct ranking factors. If you remember from last month, we want your website to rank well in search engines. Of course, SEO, again, is search engine optimization. We want to make sure when people Google your industry, if they're Googling your business specifically, especially, that your website is the first thing that's coming up, that your social media is right after that. We want to make sure that we're doing that. How do you do that? By making sure that you're linking your post to your website, to your blog, to your whatever. You want to make sure if you're sending out an e-blast to your email list, making sure you include links in there. That boosts your SEO and it adds credibility to your site. Here are the importance of social links to add to that. Links to your website via social media will help search engines know that you are a credible site. 99% of these sites that rank on top Google search results have at least one external link pointing to the site. The more, the better. Links published on social media could be marked as credible backlinks and thus influence a page's rank. And then lastly, links help increase SEO positioning. That they do. Now, we always talk about the acronym N.A.P, updating your profiles. What does N.A.P stand for? Name, address, and phone number. You want to make sure that your business has the most updated information on your website, on your social media, especially on your Google searches, making sure that your business hours are up to date, that your address is up to date. If you've changed your business name even slightly, that's up to date, and that your phone number is up to date. Nothing worse than finding a business and calling and it's a non-working telephone number, or going to patronize a business and it's the wrong address because they've moved and they've built a bigger building or they've found another location. You want to make sure that you're updating this information online. And we also have a product for that here at JumpCrew that helps you with doing that in an easy format, and you can actually update your platforms. You can update your N.A.P data on literally nearly 100 different platforms at one time. Only through JumpCrew. We can definitely give you more information of how that works. Just contact me, email me, and I'll get you to the right people to make that happen. Of course, links to your website as well are very beneficial. Search engine results page. You want to make sure that your social media profiles rank on your SERPs. That's your search engine results page. Claim your name on all social channels and boost your rank. You want to make sure that on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, that all of your business names are the same. You don't want to be one thing on one platform and another name on another. You want to make sure that you keep your brand very consistent across the board. Your Google Plus profile information appears in the right-hand sidebar at the very top of your search results page. That's where you want to make sure that N.A.P data is especially updated. Now, the most exciting part of this webinar that I'm super excited to be sharing with you is what is on the horizon. Well, we're in a new year. And of course, in a new year comes new technology, it comes new ways of doing things, new strategies, and we're going to talk about just a few of them. I'm going to give you just a little teaser on some of these, and then you can go do some more research, and we'll bring you some more information, hopefully next time, on how these things are playing out in the market. Augmented reality, currently used in Instagram filters. Facebook launched 3D camera effects in April of 2017. Location-based AR, which is augmented reality, content is coming, and it's becoming more and more useful as people use filters, where you can be in a specific area and get access to certain filters. Snapchat adopted this, a few years ago. Now it's on Facebook, and we're seeing it on Instagram as well. Pretty cool stuff, right? What about the AI and chatbots? Chatbots save time, where you can have auto responses set up when people inbox you or DM you. You can have those things set up to where they get a response. Now, it allows you to have that 24-hour customer service experience without you physically being there, but it does not replace the human experience. There still is a need for at least a check-in, meaning that you have someone that checks in every single day to see what messages have come in, to see what inboxes have come in case you need to respond back personally. You want to make sure that you're still doing that. Listen to this stat. 38% of enterprise organizations used AI in 2017. By 2018, that's right now, this will increase to over 62%, almost double. That's incredible. Now, virtual reality, we know, is becoming a huge popular phenomenon. Facebook Spaces is live. It is limited, but it is live. Now, you can set to scale in 2018. That's when it's set to scale. That's when it's going to be used more often. Of course, experiences with friends, you'll be able to do different experiences. Of course, there will be some advertising spaces for that as well. And content will even become 3D. These are things that you want to start looking at now. Why? Because if you start looking at those things now, when they do become unlimited and they do become popular, you will realize how your business fits when using these particular technologies. Now, it is important that you realize that not every business is going to use every new trend in social media. So every new piece of technology may not be relevant to your audience. Let's say your demographic is an older demographic and maybe they don't use some of these newer things like virtual reality, then it may not be worthwhile for you to actually use it, right? So it's important to, again, going back to what we discussed earlier, knowing the DNA of your audience, knowing what they use, what they do, what they like, what technology they're using. That will help you in your overall marketing strategy. So let's go over our summary. Number 1, test new ways to use stories. Number 2, encourage your followers to participate. Number 3, use video to connect with your audience. Remember, 80% by 2020 will be all video. We want to make sure we're using that. Number 4, determine what type of partnership works best. Number 5, social media will continue to impact SEO in 2018. And lastly, stay on top of developing technology. And as much as we know, we'll be providing it to you as well. Now, if you enjoyed this particular webinar, what I want you to do is I want you to visit our blog and resource library. There are unlimited amount of free tools there for you to use, webinars that you can go and view absolutely free. People pay a lot of money for this information, and you guys are getting access to it for absolutely no cost. So I want you to check that out, and I want you to utilize this information. And of course, if you have additional questions, you can always email me, martrell@jumpcrew.com. You can give us a call, 615-326-5861. We are so excited to be able to share any answers that we have to help you with your overall social media marketing strategy, helping you enhance your platform. That's what we're here to do. Now, let's go back to talking about those influencers. I know we talked about that a little earlier. Influencer marketing is huge, and it's something that a lot of people are taking advantage of, and they're seeing their businesses literally turn around. So you want to make sure that you're using that. If you don't have access to influencers, or if you have additional questions about influencers, contact us so that we can get information to you. We actually offer influencer marketing packages where we actually have access to the people that will impact your business the best, and we take all the hard work out of it. So it is not as much as you may think it is. So you definitely want to give us a call so that we can get you on board with that. In addition, if you are having questions about getting your N.A.P updated, your name, address, and phone number, that information is important. We actually have a platform that can actually enhance that, and you can actually update your N.A.P data in one place, and it will update in over 100 places online. So that way you're taking as much online space up as possible. We want to make sure that you're doing that. Okay, guys? Thank you so much for tuning into the webinar. And until next time, we'll see you then at the top. Have a good one, folks.